Now, before you leave, let me ask you: am I just your Sifu for 7 weeks, or am I your Sifu for a lifetime? Of course, Sifu. Yes, I'm devoted.
Oh
And
no!
he's like,
Seafood Dad, no!
everybody was under this impression that we were destined for greatness. You asshole! Not one fucking sale made. We're all just kids. We're throwing off the graduation hats, and he just says, "All right, bitches, you want more lessons? You really want a job? Open that fucking wallet. Give me that $2,000. You already gave me $3,000. Give me more, fucking idiots. Keep it."
Wait, what? He said to kiss money?
Yeah, kiss it, touch it. No, he's like, love money, y'all. So, shame on me. I had fights with my family members. They were telling me, dude, this sounds like some cult shit. And I'm like,
really?
No. You see, that's your lower mindset saying that. He said, I want you to imagine that you're standing on the edge of the cliff. Sifu appears over your shoulder, and he says, I want you to jump. How many of you would jump? They're waving their credit cards like they don't even know what the fuck they're buying. People I know that are in debt, people that I know who are starving, who haven't found jobs, and they're running to that table. One of these guys I knew that was struggling, he handed his credit card over to Dan Lok's lackeys, and he said, I'm praying that this goes through. And it didn't. It got declined. And he just melted on the floor. He was crying. And then another guy was like, I got declined too. He's like, man, if I could sell my soul right now, I would.
Is Dan Lok a cult? Yes or no? Is High Ticket Closer a cult? Yes or no?
Yes. I saw like some of your other Dan Lok videos. And I was like, man, he's just scratching the surface. Like, if this dude only knew.
Are we gonna open it up today, dude? Are we gonna do it? Let's go.
Let's bust open the lid, because I mean it's Christmas time. I don't give two fucks. I got my coffee right here.
Hell yeah, dude! Going from Dan Lok to Coffeezilla, dude. I love it.
Yeah, good times, man.
Oh man, dude. Hey guys. Look at this. Look at this hero here. Whistle blowing for you guys who are thinking of joining Closers in Black, High Ticket Closer. Don't buy before you watch the video. Welcome to Coffeezilla. Welcome to Fake Guru. I am your Sifu. You're the real Sifu here in the house. And today we've got Garrett, who came forward and he said, "Look, you guys literally ready to reveal everything. I mean, I'm ready to open this can of worms. You guys have barely scratched the surface. So take it away. The floor is yours."
Sure. I mean, there's so many ways to start, but I guess I'll just start with how I first began. And that would be back in July of 2018, where I've just finished my first year teaching. And I thought, man, this job sucks. Like, it's stressful all year round.
What do you teach?
I teach, at that time, I was teaching like 3 different elective classes, and I'm certified in English. So, it was nothing like I was prepared for. And overall, I was just doubting myself. I'm like, am I cut out to be like this? Maybe there's another opportunity. And I think I was just at a low point because it's in the middle of summer vacation and I got to get ready to go back into the war zone, So it's almost like a Saving Private Ryan moment. Like, I'm picturing the war and everything. I'm like, oh, am I really ready for this? So, and then out of the heavens, this guru came, Dan Lok, and he said, hey, Garrett, don't worry about that. I got the solution for you. You can quit your 9 to 5. I'm going to give you the tools to make 6 figures. You can quit this race. You're special. And I think that's what hit me. Dan has a way to make you feel special. I just want to let everybody know, I'm not going to be like, busting his ass throughout this whole thing. There are some, there's some things I'll give him props for. But yeah, but this was one thing that, he knows how to like talk to an audience directly.
Of course.
Um, yeah, and make you feel special. And the other thing was that he didn't exactly just pop up directly to me. He popped up in many of the other channels I was watching. Some of you all may be watching Stephen James Project Life Mastery or Improvement Pill. And this guy like knows how to network with all these, gurus and such. And for the longest time, I was just devouring their content for their free content. They always kept bringing up, hey, if you want to get rich, you need a high income skill. They were like, my friend Dan Lok here teaches a high income skill. So these people I already
Hey,
trusted.
you want a little secret here?
Yeah, let's hear
You
it.
get back into that in a second, but the secret is those people get paid every time they sell a high ticket closer course. They're not just
That's right.
saying that,
That's
okay?
right.
They're getting a kickback from Dan Lok for that. Go ahead. But these people
Yeah.
you trust,
No, definitely. And I'm glad you brought that up because, yeah, they're all getting a kickback. In fact, Improvement Pill, I later found out, was a, mentee of Dan's. So I was just thinking, all these people I trust, they're all recommending him. They're telling me to come look at this free master class, the master classes, love it. So I jump into this master class and there he is bringing up the wealth triangle. Like, okay, you got everything you need. You just need the high income skill. I mean, coffee break. Look, even just minutes before this interview, Dan had a video posted, a new video in which he says, hey, if you want to make millions, you need a high income skill. So I heard that over and over again. I just didn't know, well, what is a high income skill? See, he got me asking these questions. And then here he comes down from the heavens. He's like, here's your high income skill. It's HTC. And
the black book.
you see it? Look at it. It's so holy. Oh. But I'm sorry, I only have version of the first edition. This is now obsolete. If I would have gone to Closers in Black this year, I would have gotten the second edition.
Wow.
This is junk now.
Life-changing stuff.
Yeah, but throughout this masterclass, he's bringing up how easy this is. You got a product that somebody's selling for $1,000. You get on the phone and you just close somebody, you get a percentage of it. He makes it sound so easy. And then he's like, what would it be like if I taught you how to do that? I was like, oh, me? And he's like, yeah, you. Yeah, I could make you into a 6-figure earner, but you gotta do the work. I'm like, yes, sir, I'm ready to work. Scout's honor. Like I was ready to go. He's like, okay, then click this page. So I clicked the page, and these gurus they pulled this shit where you go to this page and they have a little countdown, like there's a timer going
It's
off.
scarcity, yeah.
Don't do what I did, okay? I jumped on it. I went to the page. I saw the countdown clock. I saw availability go down to 7. I was thinking, oh shit, I've got to jump on this. Like, there's only 7 opportunities. Let me tell you, I was prepped. I was groomed for this because other Stephen James Project Life Mastery and Improvement Pill videos told me, hey, you got to be ready to drop like thousands of dollars if you want a high income skill. So I had the credit card out. I was like, yes, I've been mentally ready for this. I'm ready to buy it. And I'm thinking, as soon as I buy this, it's going to be me and like 20 other people. Dan's going to personally mentor us, just like how he said in the video. So I dropped that money on my credit card, didn't even talk to my wife about it at the time, which was absolutely stupid. Because here we are supposed to be working like a team. But again, that's what that fucking countdown clock does to you and availability. It makes you think like, I've got to act now. Oh my God. So I felt like I had no time to think. And stupid me, I mean, if I would just realize that this wasn't even a live video, these master
it's not a
classes.
live video. There is no number. You can let the clock run all the way down. Availability goes to 0. You'll click it. They let anybody in. Anybody. At any time. There's no scarcity. There's 0 scarcity.
No, and just think about that, everybody. Think about that. This is your introduction to this fucking class. It is a fake countdown clock and shit. Like, I hate that shit.
Fake live. It's all a lie. It's all a
Yeah.
lie. Yeah.
And then once you drop the money, you get into the Facebook group, and I'm like, these are the people I'm gonna like get rich with, and we're gonna be sitting on yachts. Like, we were paying the fancies ourselves before class even started. Yeah, it was. Oh, I need a sip after
Well,
that.
and look, and that's the expectation he sets up, man. You're going to be some big high ticket closer like me. Let me ask you this. So how much did you spend on that course?
Okay, the course before the upsale, which we'll get to a little bit, um, was 2,500. You know, I'm a teacher. I saved up. At this time, I had, thousands in the bank. I was like, yeah, I can save a little money and drop 2,500 and not break the bank. Cool. So that's what I did. Does that surprise you?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, but it's not like you have thousands of dollars sitting around. That money mattered to you.
Yeah. And there was no what should I say, like a test or no pre-evaluation of whether this program was right for you. It
No, they
was
don't
like,
qualify you. They just let anybody in. All
shit.
right, so you drop the money, you
Yeah,
go
and
through the course. Does it work for you?
hell no. I mean, I mean, here's what I'll say. The course, god damn. Just like many other courses you guys are going to see. I remember you interviewing somebody else who went through shit. Maybe it was Jason Capitals or somebody's course. It was like, yeah, man, but the mindset, like he taught me all this mindset shit. I'm like, yeah, they all teach that shit. The first 2 weeks, the first two classes are nothing but the brainwashing, I call it. They
Yeah.
want you, yeah, they want you to feel like you're already rich and that you have abundant money, and that you love money and get you in a happy place where you're motivated. All right. And then he starts actually teaching. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Is it true that Dan Lok says you should have a sexual relationship with money?
I didn't hear that. I'll be honest. I didn't hear
Okay.
that, but he
I just
said
had to ask.
he said you shouldn't think of money as like dirty or anything. You should love it,
Okay.
Um, touch it, kiss it, keep it around, keep it in drawers. Okay. Yeah, this might be worse. He's like, keep it
Wait, what? He
in
said to kiss money?
yeah, kiss it, touch it. No, he's like, love money, y'all. So keep it all over your house. Just so it didn't dawn on me, like, why is he making us feel like this? But it all comes at the end of the course. Watch it.
Okay.
It all
Okay.
builds up to it. So
Okay.
after 2 weeks of mindset, you get 3 weeks of the martial arts, how to close. All right. You gotta know your prospects and how to deflate objections and all that stuff like a kung fu master. And let me tell you,
That's
this
what
shit.
that's how he frames it. You have to be a kung fu master of
That's
closing.
right. That's right. You got to flow like water, like Bruce Lee. Oh, if they throw an objection, do that and come back with a question, and you got it. Well, later when I was actually trying to close, that shit did not work. But anyway, well, we'll get to that. So 3 weeks of that, and by this time, it was tough for me doing my job and handling the homework assignments for HTC because they give you homework assignments. You can't just slack off, right?
Right.
So I'm back at school. I'm teaching, and Dan, I mean, just the way the course is structured, it's made to build to make you feel great and make you like you should not be worried about spending money because you're gonna get it all back. If you're making six figures, you're gonna make that money back. So this is where I made probably the most crucial mistakes of my life. I quit my job, and yeah, I quit my job. And I said, because I know this is going to work. Yeah. And coffee, I wasn't the only one. There were not only were there people encouraging me to quit, but there were people who had quit in like week 1 or 2. They said, fuck you to their bosses, gave them the middle finger, walked out. Like everybody was under this impression that we were destined for greatness. Yeah.
Whoa. That's
Yeah.
dark.
It is. It gets worse. Because so again, I mean, I have some thousands of dollars in the bank to keep me afloat for about 4 months. All right. So I'm thinking, cool, I devote 4 months to closing. Hell, if I can't close a deal by the end of those 4 months, it's my fault. That's the other thing is you're kind of made to believe like it's always your fault. If something's working, it's your fault. So
Right.
it's that lower mindset, man.
Because Sifu knows. So if Sifu can't be wrong. If something's wrong, it's your fault.
For sure. It's your lower mindset. Yeah. But then comes the last 2 weeks, which is about how to get a job. And this was the one I'm like, all right, let's hear it. And he's like, all right, so here's what you do. You be nice to them, you give value, and they'll give you a job. What kind of jobs can you get with closing? Well, you can sell cars, boats. The sky's the limit, man. Just go out and sell shit. I'm like, oh, I thought there was like a process to this. Okay. Because I thought
So he just pushes you a kind of he's like you were expecting him to have a pipeline, some kind of formula for getting a job.
right. Because I mean, I was feeling special. Like I'm a mentee of Dan Lok. Like there's gotta be like
Aren't the companies climbing at Dan Lok's window to hire us?
Yeah, no, and he said that in the masterclass video. He said there are countless jobs. It's a blue ocean out there. They're all climbing for you. And at the end, he's just like, good luck. But, and then the last class, he pulls this shit. And Coffee, I honestly, if he would just pushed us off and said, that's the class, have a nice day, I honestly wouldn't be here. I'd be like, okay, I lost out $2,500, but it's my bad. I'll live. And from what I learned, if you have no sales experience, I guess like it's an okay introduction.
No, it's garbage, dude. It's so garbage. It's so garbage. Bro, here's the thing. If you've never read a sales book, if you've never read Influenced by Robert Cialdini, if you've never, and your only introduction is Dan Lok, yes. But if you only knew that everything you learned is available in about 3 books that are about $10 a piece, then tell me how you'd feel about spending $2,500.
For sure.
But I hear what you're saying. You don't want to live a life of regrets. I understand the mindset.
No, yeah. And I honestly, like I said, if it was stopped there, I would have said, okay, you got me.
Yeah, wash your hands of it.
Yeah, but then he brings up like, okay, so I know you guys are worried about getting a job, but I got this inner circle, you can join. I will make sure we will work our asses off to make sure you get a job. Now, before you leave, let me ask you, am I just your Sifu for 7 weeks or am I your Sifu for a lifetime? So our hearts are racing. Like we built a connection with this guy. Oh man, wait. Of course, Sifu. Yes, I'm devoted,
Oh no.
And he's like,
Sifu, Dad, no.
Yeah, so we can't disappoint him. What can we do, Sifu? Yes, we'll follow you anywhere. He's like, okay, well,
here's what you can do. What you can do for Sifu. Let me show you.
This
is what he wants you to do. He wants you to open up your wallet.
That's exactly. And how much do you think it costs to get into that?
I have no idea.
You just spend $2,500 to $3,000 for this course. How much more to get into Inner Circle? Well, it's only a low price, so just an additional $2,000 more. You asshole. Not one fucking sale made. We're all just kids. We're throwing off the graduation hats, and he just says, all right, bitches, you want more lessons? You really want a job? Open that fucking wallet. Give me that $2,000. You already gave me $3,000. Give me more, you fucking idiots. So, and he's doing this live on class. Like anybody who jumps in, he's got Sergeant Desmond, his right hand man, naming off people who have already joined. So there's that herd feeling, like, oh, I'm missing out. Oh no, wait, Jeffrey's in the Inner Circle. Oh wait, I like Jeffrey. Arnold's in it. Oh, I gotta go follow. I gotta join now. So everybody, like I would say, a good 80% or more of students joined Inner Circle that night.
Wow.
Yeah. And a part of it was, yes, you're guaranteed a job, well, okay, not guaranteed, but we will work your ass off. He pretty much
He makes
said
the
it.
implication you're going to get a
Yes.
job, you're going to get a job, you're going to get a job.
And that's what gets me is that so much of this shit he can throw it back on you, be like, oh, I never said that. But it's like, dude, you pretty much said everything but that. Like, you molded us to do this. So we're all jumping into this giant pool. I'm going down the fucking rabbit hole. And remember my plan. I'm supposed to be living off this money for the next 4 months. Well, that's now cut down to 2 months. And then I find out it's not just $2,000. Okay. You have to pay an additional $200 each and every month, because what you're getting is totally worth that. You're getting one fucking class each month, a brand new class. I'm like, really? Okay. But just like just like the other guy you had on, I wanted a fucking job. All right.
Right.
And
yeah.
As soon as I get there, they post an opportunity and we all jump on it. And it was this woman trying to sell like a coaching service or whatnot. And she had us like make an application, take a test, resume, cover letter, introduction video, like 7 different fucking things. And everybody jumps on this shit. And the very next day, Kayvon is running this, and he shows us a screenshot of an email from her saying, hey, your students a lot of your students didn't do all 7 of the tasks I asked. I'm not personally mad at you, but it makes me wonder what kind of students you're teaching over there. And then he posts, guys, why do we work our asses off to give you these opportunities if this is how you make the brand look? Like, why should we keep giving you jobs? I'm like, you fuck, we just paid $2,000 for this. Don't act like, this is a privilege.
It's a big favor to us.
Yeah. So, and not only that, but my fellow brothers and sisters in HTC, who we're brothers and sisters. That's what we call each other. All right. So if you thought it was like a cult, it is like a cult. And so all my brothers and sisters who I've went through class with, guess what they start saying in the comments section? Throw these fuckers out. They're bad apples. Get rid of them. Yeah, save it for us and all that shit. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, wait, we were family. And suddenly it's now like dog eat dog world. And yeah, a few people spoke up and they got like, they got jumped on by all the other members. So that was my first indication that this was a bad idea. But hey, at least I got to go to Closers in Black because I was in the inner circle, right? That's a big thing.
Tell everybody what Closers in Black is.
So
by the way, for everyone not realizing, now we have 3 upsells or 2 upsells so far.
For sure.
We've got high ticket closer. Then when high ticket closer doesn't get you a job, they promise you Closers in Black. No, inner circle. Inner circle. Yeah. Sorry, it's hard to keep up with them.
Right.
Like double the price, and they almost promise you a job. And then they upsell you to Closers in Black.
Yeah. Now wait, and let's go back, because now we have Dan on Demand, which is kind of a way to upsell you into HTC. So for me, there was one less step, but now there's an extra step, you guys. Like,
what's Dan on Demand?
Dan on Demand, that's like a service that he's providing for $50 a month. You have like one Q&A session with him, a bunch of other people. Like, and I'll get into this. I hope we have time. So much to talk about, but basically, yeah, he had HTC students, like anybody who was interested in HTC from Dan on Demand, he would seek out these students to go and like try and close them. Like, right. Yeah, like sharks, they smell blood in the water. Go, get them into the program. But hey, it's not a pyramid scheme. He stressed that over and over. This is not MLM. Fuck that shit.
Well, it's funny because he's got a lot of MLM components, because a lot of the students end up trying to close for Dan in the end.
Yeah, and it's funny. Most of the successful closers work for Dan. Interesting.
So let me ask you this. People are going to say, I already know what the comment is. oh, this guy's just salty because he didn't work hard.
Of course.
You
It's
know
my
that's the
fault.
comment,
Yeah.
right? What do you have to say to those people?
I mean, damn, I had over 100 hours, trying to close real customers. I've tried to make this shit work. Like I was working with a team, which we'll get into later. This is after Closers in Black. And we worked with probably a dozen different influencers. These are the people who are selling high ticket packages, like thousands of dollars. And I tell you, none of us was closing shit. All right. So you can hate on me. You can say I'm salty, but I know hundreds of people that this is not working. And the only ones it seems to be working for are those that now work for Dan.
Who are
All
now
right.
selling Dan Lok more of Dan Lok's products.
Exactly. And they're the
Continuing the
ones.
cycle.
Yep.
Hey,
So
is Dan Lok a cult? Yes or no? Is High Ticket Closer a cult? Yes or no?
yes. Yeah.
Oh my God, dude.
I'm gonna say yeah, and shame on me. I had fights with my family members. They were telling me, dude, this sounds like some cult shit. And I'm like,
really?
no. You see, that's your lower mindset saying that, And he's like, you call these people you don't know brothers and sisters. Yeah, because we're trying to be, we're not living in the matrix like you. We're out of the matrix. We're in the real world. We know each other. We understand each other. And yeah, dude, it's a cult, but I don't even think Dan knows it's a cult. I think he's drinking so much of his own Kool-Aid that he thinks that he is really making a difference in the world, but he's building this empire on the bodies of, innocent people who are throwing away their money. So
And their jobs.
and their jobs, like myself included. Just to skip ahead, I am a teacher again, and it's actually great. So yeah, there's a bit of a happy point to this.
Good. I'm happy to
But
hear that. I'm really
yeah.
happy to hear that.
All right, but I want to get into Closers in Black because
Sure.
this was I think where my whole reality shattered. So one of the privileges with being part of the inner circle is you get to attend Closers in Black. What is Closers in Black? What did I know of it at that time? I don't fucking know. He just said be there because there's going to be learning, there's going to be surprises, there's going to be a lot of breakthroughs. So I'm like, oh man, this is some like Tony Robbins shit. Awesome.
Yeah.
But the best part was I built a connection with a lot of these people in the program. And I was like, I get to meet them, hang out with them, and we get to feel like millionaires. We're dressed in tuxedos and shit. So I'm like, yeah, let's do this. So it's totally free. You just have to pay to get there. Oh, and Seafood demands that you stay at the hotel where this is happening. All right. At this point, I'm like, oh, Seafood knows everything. If I do not stay at this hotel, I am fucked. Like I'm dead. So I end up spending, I would say, close to over $1,000 to get there. The flight, the hotel room. Yeah.
Wow.
So my plan of surviving for 4 months has now diminished to a month and a half. But again, it's no worries. I'm going to make this money really quick. I'm going to get a closing job and money's just going to roll right in. Well, I fly out to Closers in Black, Vancouver, awesome city. Love it. Go inside. And Closers in Black, it was great. Got to see a lot of my fellow cohort and stuff. But some of the warning signs I was getting, though, was I was meeting a lot of season 1 students. And here's the thing I noticed. About a couple months after a season ends, a lot of the students kind of stop posting on Facebook. They kind of vanish. They, they'll have HTC on their banner. They'll be dressed in suits, and they were regularly posting. But then a couple months after the program ended, it stops. So I'm like, hey, dude, how's everything going? And they would just be like, I'm struggling. I'm not closing and all. So I'm like, oh shit. And so I'm like, so why aren't you posting? He's like, I'm ashamed. And this the story kept repeating. They were ashamed. They, because while in the program, they're proudly announcing, I'm HTC, I'm a motherfucking high ticket closer. But then when you're out in the real world and you're not closing, you're like, oh, wow, I've let Sifu down. I've let myself down. I'm a failure. You just kind of back away from social media. And it's funny because this would later happen to me as well. But so I was already getting red flags. And then the first day was nothing but mostly Dan having Desmond and Kayvon give speeches. And the theme of the speeches were sort of, hey, trust Dan. Trust him. In fact, so like Desmond's like, I trusted Dan and my whole life changed. Kayvon gets up. I trusted Dan and my whole life changed.
Which is funny because later Dan goes against Kayvon, right?
Yep. We're close to the 1 year anniversary of that. Yeah, we're close to the 1 year anniversary of that fucking shit, man. That was some good drama. That was one of the funniest days of my life, I'll be honest. But we'll get to that. Good shit. Okay. So Kayvon at one point asked everybody to stand up. He said, I want you to imagine that you're standing on the edge of the cliff. Sifu appears over your shoulder. And he says, I want you to jump. How many of you would jump? And I kid you not, we all looked at each other and we were like, fuck that shit. Of course, there was a few dumbasses who were like, me, I would jump. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I cannot make this shit up.
You're not making this up, I can tell, because this is too real. They asked you, let me get this straight. If Sifu was standing over your shoulders, creepily over your shoulders,
yes, massage you. Yeah.
Would you jump? Oh,
yeah. And I mean, some were like, yes, I would. I trust Sifu. And later that, I mean, yeah, but here's the thing. Now listen, everybody pay attention because again, a majority of the room was looking at each other like, oh, that like no. So we weren't fully convinced yet, all right? And even later that night, me and like a bunch of other people were sitting around like in the lobby of the hotel. And one of the guys, okay, I'm not going to name names, but one of the guys who was a devoted like Dan Lok fan was just shit talking him, all right? And believe it or not, this guy is working for Dan right now. So I'm sitting with this guy, devoted fan, and he's just shit talking him and saying like, oh man, he's like the influencers I'm working with, because he actually found an influencer, and he was actually making some money. It was selling like one of these Amazon, FTC classes or whatever,
right?
FTA, whatever it is.
Yeah, FBA.
He was
FBA.
Yeah, I get that shit confused. But he was telling me that the people he was working for, they were even like, oh man, Dan Lok, yeah, the whole HTC thing, like we were actually close to not hiring you because of that. So everybody pay the fuck attention. Even the people who are selling high ticket packages, they're all getting together and they know that the value of HTC students are not that great. So
Spencer, who came on the show, he said, I tried, he had a course, he tried HTC closers and trash.
No, yeah. And I mean, you cannot expect 7 classes to completely make someone into a sales expert, but that's what Dan, preaches. And unfortunately, even at this time, the brand was damaged. This guy told me so. He said, this brand is damaged. He literally told me I'm probably going to leave HTC Inner Circle right after this. And a lot of people I was sitting with agreed. All right. So the same group I'm with tonight, we show up the next day and we all were talking about, we're ready for this upsale. He's like, everything yesterday was prepping us for an upsale. I was like, fuck. So he starts off with a little story about the guy who started Alibaba. And he was like how he started that with 16 people. And he wants to now start a big movement. And he's like, the number I'm looking for is 300. I'm looking for 300 Spartans to work with me, to fight with me, to make this brand what it is. And I was like, oh shit, here he comes. And he's like, ladies and gentlemen, introducing the third pillar, the inner circle of the inner circle, high ticket millionaire. And everybody's like, and he said, imagine, okay? He loves that word, imagine.
Imagine you got a job.
Yeah. For sure. That's what we all fucking want. But he's like, no, fuck that shit. Here's what you do.
Yeah.
You lead a team of 10 closers. They close for you. They get half their profit and you get half that profit. Ba bing, ba boom. You're going to be, if everybody's making 100,000, you're also making 100,000. So you're essentially making $1 million. And I'm going to take 300 of you and make you into millionaires within the next 3 years. So now everybody's like perking up. And I'm just like still slumped like, what the fuck? I just graduated. Wait, I'm qualified to lead a team? Like, no, this has got to be for like season 1 people, right? No, it's open for everybody. Even the season 6 people who graduated a week before this were in that room and they were given this opportunity. So they were upsailed 3 times within the span of like 2 months.
So how much was High Ticket Millionaire?
We'll get there. First, we got to talk about the bonuses, Coffee. I mean, that's the point. The bonuses. You get to fly. You get to attend these meetings in the most extravagant places, like Hawaii. I'm trying to think where was the second one he did. But you got to pay for your own flight there and your own hotel room. But you get to come and come for a class exclusively to how to run a business. And then you also get more access to Dan. You can call him up for like an hour. You get to, get your own class once a month. Okay. And then he stopped and he said, I'm looking around the room and I could see some real eager people who are ready to make that first move advantage. So before I even reveal the price, if you don't even want to hear the fucking price, go to the back table and sign up now. And holy shit. You remember that scene from The Lion King with the stampede coming down? Simba's like, that was me because I was sitting near the back of the room and I see this whole fucking stampede of hundreds of people running towards the back table. They're waving their credit cards like they don't even know what the fuck they're buying. They're slamming the table, and I'm like almost about to get run over. I see people who don't have a pot to piss in running to that table. People I know that are in debt, people that I know who are starving, who haven't found jobs, and they're running to that table. And I'm like, what the fuck is this madness? And I sit down at my table. I'm like, can you believe this shit? And the 2 guys next to me, one of which was the guy who was, saying how this was complete shit. He's like, this is cool. I'm going to join. Yeah, me too. I was like, oh, guys, we talked about this last night. Like, this is a joke. And then I turned to the guy to my right, and I'm like, what do you think about this, dude? And he's like, yeah, I don't know about this. I'm like, dude, it's like we just graduated martial arts school. We're blue belts. We haven't closed a single fucking package. But he wants us, he's given us a chance to buy a black belt and call ourselves a black belt. I'm like, this isn't right. Like, I haven't sold a single package. I shouldn't be leading a team.
How can you coach people to sell right?
Yeah.
Right.
Especially some of these season 6 people who just graduated, just joined Inner Circle, and now you can be a high ticket millionaire. Well, me and him are both on the same page for a good 5 minutes, but then Dan says, so the cost of the program is $5,000 a month. But just for you guys in this room,
okay,
50% off. So only $2,500 a month.
Bro, this is clown world, man. I've got so many bad things to say about Dan Lok. I don't even know. I don't know.
But Coffee, nobody told you about this? Like,
I have never heard of this. This is insane.
Really? Wow.
Bro, how
Okay.
much money have people lost with this guy?
Well, let me put it this way. One of these guys I knew that was struggling, he handed his credit card over to Dan Lok's lackeys, and he said, I'm praying that this goes through. And it didn't. It got declined. And he just melted on the floor. He was crying. And then another guy was like, I got declined too. He's like, man, if I could sell my soul right now, I would. I'm looking, I'm like, you're joking. He's like, I would. There, this is turned into like a fucking nightmare. He wasn't that other guy wasn't the only one. There were people crying
They're
when they
so
saw
in
that guy.
debt that they can't buy any more of Dan Lok stuff.
But they feel like they're letting seafood down. And they're like, no, I need this. I need this. They really believe that joining this program was gonna make them millionaires. And I remember like this was some Hollywood movie shit. I'm standing there and I'm looking at Dan directly, like right at him. Of course he doesn't notice me. I mean, he's smiling, look at all these crowds.
Right.
And my hands are just clenched. And I'm so angry at this guy. I'm like, this is not right. This isn't right. You should not be accepting some of these people's money right now. They are struggling, starving, out of jobs, and you're promising them to be millionaires, and you're charging them $2,500 a month. Like puke, man. And then I sit down and I'm like, man, this is fucked up. And then the guy next to me, to my right, is like, you know what? I'm going for it. I'm like, what the fuck? Coffee, by the end of that fucking day there, I would guarantee Dan had more than 300 people. Dan had he had to have sold this shit to at least 600 people. And I wondered like how did he pay for all this? The car, he had a sports car in the room. He had lights, he had food, and then it hit me. I was like, we paid for this shit just now. He said this everything cost 500,000. Where did he get that 500,000? He made it in that very moment. And these vacations he's talking about giving classes at, who's paying for his room and his vacation? He found a consistent source of income of thousands of dollars every month. And all he had to do was sell more access to himself. And that's when it hit me like this is fucked up. So so thankfully those two, because I left this place expecting a job. Like I was going to network with somebody and get a job. And thankfully the two guys I was sitting with at the table, and mad respect to them, they saw something in me, and they let me on their team, their team. And from there on, that's when they started trying to close influencers, and I started trying to close for them, and there was just no success. Eventually, one of them, the guy who was shit talking Dan, eventually got promoted, and Dan picked him up, and now he's working for Dan right now. And, good. Cheers, man. Good for you. You look like you're happy. So that's cool. But, my other friend, he's still working at it. The other guy's still working at it.
Is the other guy in? They're both in High Ticket Millionaire, right?
Yeah, and they're
So
not.
they
They're
both
not.
pay Dan Lok $2,500 a month.
Yeah, but from what I can apply, like they don't seem worried because I guess Dan taught them how they can work that into their taxes to get it back.
Bro, you
Like,
never get that back.
Yeah, but that's what they're believing, and that's what's like scaring me. I'm like, okay, and even if that is true, like your credit's gonna be garbage.
They're never, dude. I can't imagine people. I would
but
love. Oh man, I bet
but
some people have lost over 10 grand just on Dan.
oh,
Easy,
for sure, for sure.
easy.
I mean, coffee. Think about this. Shit. What was I even gonna say? I was just gonna say, yeah. I mean, even everybody really thought they were going to be millionaires, man. Dan brought them out onto a yacht that night. And the whole yacht was fucking packed. Like, I asked them, how was the dinner? And he's like, no one could barely move around the yacht. That's how many people joined this fucking program. And I have not met a single fucking person part of that who is anywhere close to becoming a millionaire right now.
It's a reverse Robin Hood.
Yeah.
You take from the poor, give to the rich.
That's right. And Coffee, I remember what I was going to say. If let's pretend, like they're now in a hole of debt. Creditors aren't going to take them. Now they're in desperate need. There's no one else to turn to but Dan.
Right.
And I'm like, God damn. Like that was say what you want about Dan. That was a calculated, like he had to have calculated this. And you could say it was smart, but at the same time, like you don't realize the mad damage you did. You took a bunch of unskilled people like myself, and you just suckered us. And I remember talking with one guy. I'm like, oh, so you joined High Ticket Millionaire. How you feel about that? Have you closed? And he said, no. And I said, well, why do you feel like you're qualified to lead a team then? And he said, well, Sifu always says, trust the process. So he wouldn't have given us this opportunity if he didn't believe in us. I was like, okay, what's your name? And I looked at his name. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to remember that. I'm going to check up on you a year from now. Let's see where you are.
When did you discover Coffeezilla? I'm kind of curious.
Dude, I discovered you like about a couple weeks ago. And
okay.
Yeah, and I guess it must have popped up while I was watching one of Dan Lok's videos. And I remember watching some of the things you exposed, like that call he did, Desmond's call, where he comes in, he's like, hey, I gotta go. I remember watching that and think it was real. But then you broke it down and like told me how fake it is. And I thought, man, I really wish there was a channel like this that could have saved me from making this huge mistake.
Let's calculate what it meant to your net worth to find Dan Lok. Okay, so you spent $2,000, right? Well, you spent $2,500. Hold on, let's start. Let's do the math.
$2,500.
We'll pull up. All right, so you spent $2,500.
Yeah.
Then you spent $2,000 on the upsell.
Yep.
Okay. How many months were you in it? Because obviously it's $200 a month.
Oh shit, 6 months.
And then you spent $1,000 on the trip, and then you quit your job. So you were out of your paycheck for how many months? From the time you quit to when you got a job?
6 months.
Okay, 6 months. And so if just ballpark how much money that would be.
So at that time it was about $2,200 a month.
All right, now I'm going to add all this up because I want you guys at home to really feel this,
the
man.
sting. Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, because it ended well, but dude, this is like, it's not a cheap thing. $19,000, $900. So $20,000.
Damn. Okay. Wow. You're good at math, man.
No, I just did it on a calculator.
But,
$20,000
would be
for joining Dan Lok's course.
Yep.
Everybody at home, if you guys don't think these guys are predatory, think about that. $20,000. It's a $20,000 mistake. And I'm not ragging on you. I'm literally saying it because people at home need to know this, man. It is not like people think, oh, it's only a course. It's only $2,000. First of all, a lot of people don't have $2,000 to sit in the bank. This guy, he had his life together, so he was able to do it. But $20,000. Think about what you could do with $20,000 right now. Right now, if I could add $20,000 to your pocket,
I could be putting a down payment on a house right now and be moving along with my life. Getting ready to have kids. That shit has now taken a back seat because I have to first get out of debt because I don't want to start having kids while I'm in debt.
You're in debt from this. You're in debt from this.
Still am. Because let me tell you, when you go back to teaching, you're not making a full salary if you jump back in the middle of the year. So I only just started making a full salary back in,
Oh, wait. How long were you making like a prorated salary?
like, like half rate.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was since March.
So
So
that's another 6 months of a half salary.
yeah, of a half salary,
Okay.
just enough to pay the bills, not pay any extra on the credit card
Okay.
debt
Hold on.
or
Let me
anything.
let me let me add that in then. That's like $26,000. It was a $26,000 mistake.
26. Ouch.
And I'm sorry to say, I mean, that
No,
gives
no,
me
no.
zero pleasure. This is why I do the show.
That's right.
$26,000. Are you listening, everyone at home? Are you listening? $26,000. Thank you, Dan Lok. Thanks, Dan. Hi, Dan. I know you're watching this. Hi, Dan. Say hi.
Hey, Dan.
Say hi, Karen.
Hey, Sifu. Sifu for life.
Dude, that is brutal. That's brutal.
Yeah.
It's horrible. It's horrible. But you don't know when you're getting in. You think it's only $2,500.
That's
That's what you
right.
think.
You do not expect the upsales. You don't expect the
what it'll do to you, what your family then gets involved. It causes strain in your family. It's
yeah.
terrible.
I mean, that mindset shit, that all these gurus teach, they do that in the first couple weeks, not to make you a better person, but to get you on board with the program and, suck you in. Guys, like, don't. Honestly, like you said, there are books out there, there are many resources. And when you see these master classes, you're thinking that these guys are going to be holding your hand with you every step of the way, mentoring you one on one, like you're something special. You're just a herd of sheep. They're just guiding you. So, say what you want. A lot of people can be like, dude, well, that's your fault for quitting your job. But hey, I'm one of hundreds, if not thousands of people in that program who did the same thing. Everyone I knew quit their jobs
The only
because
difference
that's
is you have the courage to speak out about it.
exactly. And I guess part of me was ashamed, just like everybody else.
A lot of people are ashamed. That's why a lot of people don't come forward. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There are people watching right now who aren't going to come forward. And look, I'm not going to force you to come out and say something, but it's because it's terrible. It's shameful. It's like, how did I get myself scammed? And it's because it's an orchestrated thing. He uses your psychology against you. I mean,
exactly. And hey, that shit, like, hey, once you go against the family, you're never allowed back in. And yeah, that shit plays on your mind. But
yeah,
you know
you're
what?
excommunicado.
Yeah. Well, you know what it took? It took me losing my older brother back in March. He passed away. And yeah, that was the moment that took me, like, I just lost a real brother, a real person who would stand by me and be there to help me. And although I have these people on the internet and they're cool and all, but I have a real family and I was happy with them. And I feel like a lot of people, they feel unfulfilled because they didn't have what I had, like a real family to sit around. And that saying, you don't realize what you have until it's gone. But man, losing my brother put a lot in perspective. We only have one life, and you can't fuck this shit up. And what I did wounded me financially. It wounded my marriage a bit. It wounded my relationship with my family. It goes beyond so much the money. It's a miracle what I've been able to do these past couple of months to put my life back together again.
Congratulations. And I'm
Thank
so
you.
sorry to hear about your brother. It's
I
terrible.
appreciate that, man. Yeah, it was unexpected, but it really opened my eyes. And I feel like now I'm happy. It's like, here I was worrying about getting rich and all, but a lot of us around, we don't need to be rich to be happy, all right? And it's those thoughts that we're like the special one. We're the star of our own movie. We're destined for greatness. Those are the thoughts that they want you to feel, and they will prey on you for feeling that way. So go out there, do great things. Don't be a shitty person. And if you can produce a service or a product or an idea that makes you millions, hey, congratulations. But don't fucking use these psychological tactics like these people, these fake gurus, because they're not in it to improve your life one bit. They're there to destroy your life and to make themselves look at you. At the end of the day, Closers in Black, Dan Lok has pictures standing on stage with hundreds of people standing up and applauding him. That's all we were. We were a photo op for him. Our bank accounts shrinking, our families ripped apart, our relationships damaged. Also, he can look like a god among men. And that's Dan Lok.
That's tough, man. That's tough to hear. Guys, we're gonna wrap it there. This has gotten heavy. This has gotten real heavy. But I think honestly, look, we make fun of the gurus. It's fun to have a laugh. You know, it is fun because they're so ridiculous. But at the end of the day, you need to realize these things have consequences. And I wish these gurus knew they had consequences. I've gotten in contact with a lot of gurus, and I always ask them the same question. How do you – I don't word it this way, but I basically say, how do you live with yourself? How do you sleep at night? And all of them have some varying answer of, oh, well, I don't think it's that bad. I don't think it's people who can't afford it joining my course, blah, 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 blah. Look at who is in your course. Look who's leaving your course. They never look back. They're always on selling the next guy. They never look what their course is doing. And it's messing up people's lives, guys. That's it. We're in there.